All right. Let's see if it's on here. Yeah, it's on. This is Revelation 13:15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. The image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not to worship the image, not worship the image of the beast, should be killed. Okay? 16. And he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or their foreheads. I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rekah HaKadosh, and double honors to elders and apostles at Great Millstone. This is going to be a quick lesson. Check this out.
I'm looking at this video right here, talking about the Obamacare RFIDs. Lo and behold, that is the exact same thing that they put in right here. See that hole? That hole right there is from where they gave me an implant. It was a glass implant. It was red and black and had some white in it, alright? It was inside my tooth whenever I got out of federal prison in 1999. I went to dentists and they said they weren't allowed to touch my tooth. I saw the x-ray, saw what it was, got the motherfucker out. So, you know, I'm kind of flipped out, you know, to see that it's the exact same thing that they're using now that they used then. I'm not sure if everybody knows this or not, but all federal inmates released out of prison after the year 2000 all have the RFID chip in them. I didn't think that I was going to get one because I was released in 1999. Well, my dentist was nice enough to point it out to me. You know, I came home.
Now, that goes into the word charagma, which is a thing inserted. Okay? It's a thing inserted.
Drilled it, pulled it, got all that shit out.
Don't take the chip.
This is no Lowell's thing, there's no joke thing, okay? It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Every year, y'all should go ahead and EMP yourself just in case you got nailed with one without you knowing it, okay? Because something I'll tell you straight up, I was never under any chair while I was in prison. So how that got there is beyond me. I mean, of course, I know how it got there. They knocked me out while I was in my cell. Gassed me up, kept me asleep, drugged me out, and hooked you up and put me back in. It is what it is. But if any of y'all are federal inmates, you'll need to go ahead and have yourself searched, okay? Go get a CAT scan and see where they put yours, all right?
We have indoor recreation for our inmates. We have video visiting, which really is all in place to reduce inmate movement throughout the jail. For a long time, our jail was logging information on paper or through manual computer entry. With the size of this facility, it was getting to be very hard to do that. And what we needed...
All right, so what he's really getting into is they're going to try to do this. They're going to try to chip everybody. They want everybody under the chip. That dude, what's his name? Aaron Russo. I think he worked for the Rockefellers or something of the sort. But he told us this a long time ago. Better yet, the apostles and elders told us this a long time ago. All right? Don't take that chip. I'm telling you.
Was something to capture that information at the point of responsibility. What we found was Guardian RFID. And what Guardian allows us to do is share information about inmates instantly through a wireless network. Everyone that works here loves this technology. The wristbands that we issue the inmates at the time of booking.
Now notice those wristbands. They sort of look like the same wristbands that they had given, what was it, the NBA players. And it said they would know exactly where they are because they're in this bubble, okay? Because they don't want them. Everybody wants their bread and circus, and Evil E wants his money, okay? So they look exactly like those wristbands they'd given the NBA players, and really, it's a precursor to the chip, the mark of the beast. It is what it is.
Are essential tools to our whole operation that we have here. Information about welfare checks, med passes, inmate movement, all that is captured real time. Our jail offers a lot of programs, and it's important for us to know where those inmates are at a given time. If there's ever a violation, we're notified immediately. Guardian has become so integrated in our facility that it's tough to imagine not working with it. It's our everyday tool that we use to manage this facility. Guardian makes our job efficient, easy, and super fast compared to the old way. I definitely would recommend Guardian RFID to any facility.
Look at that. See, these devils going to come in like a flood, man. You got to read the scripture. Repent before it's too late. Slocky.
Back in 93, Brian Ronke, a 33-year-old black Brooklyn resident, originally from Guyana, charges that surgeons at Billy Seton Hospital in Staten Island illegally and without his knowledge implanted paramagnetic computer chips in his head and body in October 1987.
Neuralink.
He has filed a lawsuit in the Eastern District Court charging the U.S. government with conspiracy to commit murder and invasion of privacy for including him in what he believes to be an experimental surveillance and behavioral study program victimizing inmates and possibly other members of the population. Wrong story.
See, this damn cave animal that Yahweh Shem Yahweh set over us because we went off he is a freak. He is he's absolutely mad. Okay? But see, this is all written.
The story starts in 1979 when he was arrested in connection with the armed robbery of an ozone layer, a Brooklyn disco, a crime he claims he did not commit. Some people I was known to be affiliated with in the neighborhood were arrested and charged in connection with the incident, he said. A few days later, I heard the police were looking for me. I went down to the 67 precinct on my own to find out what they wanted, and he was put into a lineup, arrested, convicted, offered to plea bargain for 1 1/3 to 3.5 years, being that I had nothing to do with the crime. I refused, and at that time, I was 2.5 years into a 5-year probation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring Mr. Ronge onto the show. I believe he's probably on the call now. If Mr. Ronge, if you are on the show, please hit *8 on your telephone so I know that you're here right now. Oh. New York caller, is that you, Brian?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to mute the board, and then we'll continue.
Well, I was arrested when I was 18 years old by the two mob cops, Anthony Appolito and Vincent Caracappa, who were in the newspaper.
Boom. You see that? On the screen it says, this story sounds similar to Detective Nate, a.k.a. Bishop, Nate of IUIC's wrongful arrest lawsuit story. All right. NYPD worst cops in the nation is what it says. Okay. It's June. It's June. There ain't no microchip. Well, you'll see.
The mobster cops, and I was framed, lawfully imprisoned. And from that point, I had a private attorney and everything, and it seemed like they had whatever reason that was all about. They had like the chip stacked against me to make sure that I couldn't get out of there, and I was to go into that prison system.
Right. And so in other words, Caracappa and Ippolito set you up to be arrested. That's the first thing that happened?
Yeah, they arrested me fraudulently. I don't know who gave them the orders to do that or what, but that was
okay. So they charged you with robbery at that particular point in time. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
I was reading, in reading your story, they had accused you of robbing a discotheque and they claimed that you heard from what I understand that people were looking for you, so you actually went down to the precinct to find out what it was all about.
Correct.
Okay. Could you tell us what happened there when you went there?
I went to the precinct, and one of the detectives hit me in my eye, bloodshotted, and and made me wear a leather jacket in the lineup, which was bolstered. They have the informants that they bring into their false testimony at lineups.
See, what does that remind you of? That freak, what's his name? Makes some electric cars. Oh, what is that dude? The Neuralink dude. I forget what. Elon Musk, right? He said he wants to put chips in everybody's brain. Okay. He wants to put a chip in your brain, but can't make a self-driving car without killing people. You know, either way it goes, man. This devil is absolute mad. He's absolute mad. Okay.
And I requested at that time the district attorney for the presence of a lawyer, and they denied me right to counsel right then and there. That whole case should have been thrown out. I went to court. They incarcerated me. I stayed on Rikers Island for approximately 18 months. And then during that process, a lawsuit was filed, a class action suit was filed because of infringements that were perpetrated against myself and other inmates at the C-74 Correctional Facility. And I heard it was settled, and they got me out of there before they settled it, and sent me upstate to my correctional facility. And up to today,
can I step back? I don't mean to interrupt you. Let's step back a second so people can understand. You went down to this precinct house. You were assaulted. They dressed you up and put you in front of a lineup.
Correct.
And then what happened was they brought in people who were alleged witnesses to the robbery, and they had these so-called witnesses point you out as one of the people responsible in the robbery, correct?
Accusers of the brethren.
Right, correct.
Okay, so after that particular point in time, they arrested you and sent you to Rikers Island for holding, right?
Correct.
That's what happened.
Well, I went to court.
Okay, so you spent 3 years in Elmira. You got a degree. You became an advocate inside the prison for prisoners' rights, and then you were transferred to Arthur Kill Correctional Facility.
Correct.
What happened there?
Well, down there, I became a part of the inmate liaison committee again. I was trying to get outside clearance, and so I could work outside. And
from what I was reading in your report, it said that you were when you were transferred there. You were involved in a dispute with a correction officer who later was rumored to have put a prison contract out on you.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us what happened here. You said that while you were at...
And you see, all these nations, man, they all drunk the wine up for fornication, which is, Esau, Edom, Babylonian ways and means, if you will. So, you got to watch their words. They say things like, correctional facilities and, the justice system and all that. And really what it is, they're a bunch of damn witches and warlocks that they got power on high, from the left-hand side of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Mainly to punish his children, man, the hammer of the earth. So let me let this go on just a little longer. I may let it go on the entire video, but we'll see.
Elmira, you were having problems at the facility.
Right. Then I started getting sick. The next thing you know, I showed him the paper when I was going to college from upstate. I wrote a paper on how we could imitate the human senses using analog devices.
Right.
I showed him that paper. The next thing you know, I'm in the hospital getting sick. Went to the hospital, and Dr. Tarantella, who was the head of the pulmonary.
Salakia. Matter of fact, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and finish that off. Revelation 13th chapter. I'll jump down to 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save that he have the mark, okay, or the name of the beast, all right, or the number of his name. And it's in every barcode. The number of his name is in every barcode, all right, which is 666. All right. That's just, it is what it is. It's in every barcode. It's going to be embedded. Karagma. Crazy stuff, man. But it's a beautiful time we're living in, man. Just to be able to understand and break down the scriptures. Truly blessed, man. Truly blessed. Lord, win on my part of the elect. 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that understand, count the number of the beast, which is, let me just read it. Count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay? 666. A score is 20. So, 600, which is 6. 3 score, which is 20, 20, 20, which is 60, and another 6, and 6. 666. It's a barcode. It's the thing inserted. It's the chip. And the water to the Spirit for putting it on the elders and apostles first, to really bring this out and break it down.
Clinic at Billy Seaton, who was in charge of the bronchoscopy, which they gave me a general anesthesia for.
Okay.
And then this guy, he showed up on the scene, and that's when that problem started. And the next thing you know, somebody was tampering with my locker, because they used to work on my unit. They go and have keys to your locker. And I think they were putting some kind of chemical in my food that caused induced respiratory problems.
Right.
You began to get sick. You noticed that your locker was being opened or played with. You had suspected that your food may have been tampered with to induce.
You should eat your defiled bread. Let me get that.
The symptoms. And at that present time, before all this, you were in good health. You didn't have any health problems.
Right.
You used to work out with weights. You had no problems breathing.
Right.
And you started to feel. You started to get sick. Is that what made you have chest X-rays?
Yeah, they gave me. You want to hear this? I read it for pulmonary. I read it for the pulmonary, right, with Dr.
All right, here it is, right here. It's in Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 13. And the Lord, all caps, Yahweh, said, "Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread amongst the Gentiles." And that's the natural Gentile. There's two different sets of Gentiles. Okay. Rather I will drive them, which is to the four corners of the earth. All right. So they said it right there in Ezekiel. He said he was wasn't feeling good, and they was putting something in his food. They put something in all our food. It's all defiled. Everything's turned upside down.
Taratola?
Yeah. Now you went to go see. Let's bring this guy out a little bit, because Vincent Taratola is somebody who's a pulmonary MD, and Dr. Vincent Taratola works with other hospitals and with other companies regarding what's called BCI, and that's short for brain computer interface, ladies and gentlemen. And to give you a general idea, brain computer interface are these implants. A lot of the implants that are put into your body, okay, into your nasal cavity and into other areas of the body, work telemetrically on radio signals. That means they can send signals to the implants and receive information back. Originally, these implants were made and funded for prosthetic use for medical patients. These devices also are being used by agencies within the Department of Justice, like the CIA, and other agencies like the National Institute of Health, and many, many others, which we're not going to get in here tonight because this is...
Why not? Anyway, I told you, you got to watch this devil, man. Watch these words, because he's tricky. He's very, very... It's crafty counsel, man.
Mr. Murphy's story. But this man, Vincent Taratola, who he was sent to at Billy Seaton Hospital, convinced him of a bronchoscopy, okay, for a diagnostic procedure to detect his problems in the lungs when he complained that he was having problems breathing. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, that's Billy Seaton. It's a military hospital located on Staten Island. I don't know if they still exist, because I heard they had shut down part of it after the investigation started into why they implanted me, and nobody, responded with a proper answers yet.
Okay, so they sent you over to Billy Seaton Hospital, which is a military medical facility, okay, which is kind of unusual why they would send a civilian.
Well, you know what else is kind of unusual? All right, and this goes along with, see, I'm telling you, they're going to usher in this chip. Slowly but surely. They got it already. And, I mean, there's people in Sweden, there's people in Babylon is getting the ship already, man. All right, but they're gonna try to usher that in. Right after the what's it called? Salakia. The anti-serum or whatever you call it that they're gonna try to give you for this pandemic, right? They're gonna try to give you that. And you know, there's strings attached to everything this damn man does, man. All right? There's strings attached to it.
Although you were a prisoner to a military, hospital, I don't know. I don't know what their reasoning is. I don't know if they have a contract from the prison there or whatever. But you went to see Tarantola. He convinced you for the need of a bronchoscopy. That's a diagnostic procedure designed to detect problems in the lungs. You decided to enter that hospital to undergo the procedure. Okay, that's what I'm reading here. Now, you said that other patients usually are given a local anesthetic for this procedure, but Tarantola completely knocked you out, and you...
Right, and you know, it's the words, man. That's why you look up words. Patient. All right? Why they call you a patient? Because you got to wait for them to do something to you. Patiently. You're the patient.
Awoke on a respirator and intravenous equipment.
Look at that. Look at all them chips.
Right. That's right.
The pain in your back of your throat that you assume resulted from a bronchoscopy. The surgeons told you you had suffered a cardiac arrest during the procedure and that the equipment had been used to stabilize you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. It also said following the hospital incident, it quickly became apparent that you thought something was terribly amiss. You experienced a host of physical disturbances, including dizziness, nausea, incontinence, headaches, along with the inability to sleep. You were suspicious that your body had somehow been tampered with. What did they
That's
tell you?
right. That's right.
What made you think that? What made you think your body was tampered with because of all the things, the dizziness
All the
and all this?
irregularities I never experienced prior to that operation. It made me feel like I had contracted AIDS or something.
Okay, yeah, you started to feel tired all the time, sick.
Everything, all the symptoms of AIDS I experienced due to that implant.
So, and that happened right after this bronchoscopy.
Correct.
So you felt that something wrong had gone there, and there was no reason why you should have been on a respirator or had any of the other further complications because you were a healthy man.
Bronchoscopy is not a technical operation. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You could be awake and have it done, but I didn't know all that. I found
It's a matter. You have to open your mouth and they stick something down your throat. That's it.
That's it.
I mean,
it's a camera, and they just cut a little piece of biopsy the lung, but they had to put me out completely for what the plans they had, which is to cut through the back of my. So now when I got up there, they said that I suffered a brief psychosis when I was isolated in the box, right, in a special housing unit. So they sent me to Central New York Psychiatric Center, and they tried to admit me, but I said no, I'm not signing no admission papers. So I stayed there for like about two weeks. Then they sent me back, and after that they sent me to Fishkill, and they transferred me to Auburn. They said some other prison, but they sent me to a couple of jails before I came home. You know?
Right. Now, were they were obviously observing?
Yeah, I believe it was, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, but Apostle Tahar put up that video of that African, could be a Jake, but I'm not sure where he was from in Africa, but this African guy that they had inserted chips and done all kinds of crazy stuff to, rectal exams, and he was, I think he was trying to come into the country, but they had done all kinds of stuff to him. And this story sounds eerily the same. It just does.
That's a psychiatric observation for a while. Mm-hmm. That's why they put that mental health thing on me when I came out on parole.
Right. Okay. So in other words, now that they had you implanted, they needed to discredit you as well. So if you went to say anything about exposing what happened to you at, what happened to you at Billy Seaton, they would be able to say, well, look, he's diagnosed as you know, mentally incapable.
Basically say, well, look, this nigga's crazy.
You said would not
right?
be believed. That's why they did that to you.
Uh-huh.
You were released.
It's gonna be the same way. They already do it. They already do it to the brothers out there on the streets and the highways and byways, man. You know what we say sounds crazy as hell to them. But you know, my sheep hear my voice. That's what the scripture said.
And you know, at what point after your release did you start to obtain the medical evidence that showed, you know, you have MRIs showing that there's implants and all that? When did all that happen?
As soon as I got out, I couldn't walk around, you know, being a sucker, having people manipulating me and listening to all my private moments and, you know, pressing buttons on me so I could go crazy like a Columbine situation. You understand?
Right. You wanted to fight them. So you wanted to know what they did.
But you have operatives out here. There are people who have the same systems and they're working for them to push you to get violent. You understand me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. They want to take you off the street and kill you.
They try to blackball you. They put a transmitter inside of you, right? And there are certain people that can hear this beeping sound everywhere you go. And then when they hear that sound, they have orders not to give you.
Now you heard what the brother said, and then they're gonna cause you to try to get carnal, you know, violent. You know, after this man, after these people has done all these heinous things to this dude, man, and he knows it. You know, he knows it. But then they're gonna try to like the dude, the interviewer said, they're gonna try to discredit you and call you this, call you crazy. Call you terrorist. You brothers know, you know how this works.
Violate your civil rights. That to give you what's due to you. You understand me?
You got no civil rights.
So that's a mark. You're marked. You have a mark.
Yeah, you're blacklisted. You're put on a list.
Exactly, right. Yeah.
A mark.
You're put on a list. But let's get to the details of your evidence gathering, I'll call it, okay?
Let me go back a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Here.
They want to take you off the street and kill you.
He said a mark.
You, right? And there are certain people that can hear this beeping sound everywhere you go. And then when they hear that sound, they have orders not to violate your civil rights. That to give you what's due to you. You understand me? So that's a mark. You're marked. You have a mark.
Yeah, you're blacklisted. You're put on a list.
Exactly, right.
Yeah. You're put on a list. But let's get to the details of your evidence gathering, I'll call it, okay?
Okay.
Now, you got out of prison. You decided that you've had enough of being attacked. You're hearing voices. They're putting your body in pain.
And never trust our enemy, man. Notice he cuts him off when he really starts getting into it. The interviewer starts cutting him off. He's like, okay, well, let's not get into that. You headlong into it.
You know you're implanted. You know this. Well, you thought you were implanted, or something that they did to you there was incorrect. So
I established that situation before I got out, so that I know once I get out, it's not going to be any story. But this happened. I don't know where it happened. That's why I made sure I exposed before I got out. I let them know. Okay. I wrote to the courts and let them know what they did to me. You understand? The federal courts.
I see. So in other words, you had made complaints while you were still in prison that something happened to you?
All right, man. You can't complain to the same people who did the shit to you. All right. I'm not going to drag this out any longer. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. Shalom, brothers.